Honorable members, estimates.
Hello and welcome back to Havana Media. And of course, as we break down yesterday's President William Ruto's State of the Nation address, and I want just to tell you what he said, what he didn't say, and what it means for ordinary Kenyans. Now, let us begin. President William Ruto walked into Parliament yesterday with confidence, holding three key national reports. These reports were meant to show the progress of the country, the challenges Kenyans are facing, and the actions taken by the government over the past year. Many Kenyans watched closely, hoping to hear maybe solutions to the high cost of living, unemployment, taxation pressure, and also national security. The president began by presenting the first report, all measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values. This report was supposed to reflect how the government is promoting integrity, unity, and justice. Ruto talked about patriotism, hard work, and the responsibility of every Kenyan to build the country. But for many citizens, the big question remains, are these values being practiced in real life?
2 years ago, when I delivered my first State of the Nation address, I had a vision to sell. Today, I have a story to tell. A story written not in the quiet offices or the comfort of boardrooms, but out in the blazing sun of our farms, in the dust of construction sites where our affordable homes now rise, and in the grit of our community health workers, doctors, medical professionals who refuse to surrender in the quest for universal health coverage.
He then moved to the second report, progress made in fulfilling international obligations of the public. This includes Kenya's role in peace missions, environmental commitments, international trade, and global partnership. The president praised Kenyans' involvement in global peace efforts and diplomatic leadership. But back at home, many Kenyans are struggling with rising taxes, unemployment, and weakening economy. So, the contrast between international leadership and local challenges was clear.
Within that context, we acted. We restored fiscal discipline. We eliminated wasteful subsidies. We rationalized public expenditure. We strengthened revenue collection and placed our economy on a path of recovery and sustainability. Inflation, which stood at 9.6% in 2022, has steadily declined to 4.6% as of last month, bringing much needed relief to households. The shilling, once in perilous downward spiral, has stabilized at 129 to the dollar for nearly 2 years, a direct consequence of prudent monetary policy and disciplined fiscal management.
Then the president also addressed the economy. He repeated that Kenya is on the right path. Even though life is still very hard for millions of citizens, he talked about stabilizing the shilling, reducing borrowing, and investing in agriculture and housing. But many Kenyans listening from their homes felt disconnected from the message. Their daily experience is about high food prices, expensive fuel, and delayed salaries.
International markets have taken note. Just this week, 14 of the world's leading financial institutions, including Citigroup, JP Morgan, Standard Chartered, and Goldman Sachs, projected that Kenya's economy will expand by between 5 and 5.8% in 2026. This confidence is anchored in solid fundamentals: lower credit costs, rising exports, improved household spending driven by low inflation, and a broadly stable macroeconomic environment. Standard & Poor's has upgraded Kenya's sovereign credit rating from B- to a firm B, our first upward revision in many years, signaling renewed international confidence. This upgrade lowers our risk profile, attracts more investment, and reduces borrowing costs for both government and the private sector.
Then Ruto spoke about the youth, saying Kenya is building opportunities for young people. He mentioned the digital space, the creative economy, and new programs said to support innovation. But the young people who led the Gen Z protest still feel ignored, overtaxed, and excluded. Many expecting the president to speak about directly to them with honesty, humility, and accountability. But that moment never came. On healthcare, the president promised a better system through the new health reforms. Yet, hospitals across the country are still underfunded, understaffed, and lacking medicine. Kenyans have heard these promises before, year after year. Also on education, he highlighted the need to support schools, teachers, and the new curriculum. But teachers are frustrated, capitation is delayed, and students lack basic learning materials. The words in the State of the Nation address did not fully match the struggles happening across the country, and especially the background. The president ended his speech with strong words about unity and hope. He said, Kenya is rising, that the future is bright, and that his government is delivering results. It was a powerful ending, but whether Kenyans feel this hope in their pockets, homes, and daily lives, it is a different story.
The president has emphasized on small crops, cashew nuts, coffee, sugar, whose contribution to GDP is minimal comparatively to livestock. While he did not say anything meaningful on livestock sector. And we are talking of 70% of Kenya's landmass, the only livelihood. Right now, nothing is being said about it. Livestock is abandoned, and it contributes over 12% to the GDP, comparatively to coffee, which only contributes even less than 1%. When shall we be part of this country? If Kenya feels that we are an appendage to the other part of the country.
Clearly you can tell that they're not for us. You can clearly tell that they're not reading the moods of the people on the ground. Because to say two-term when the president is addressing us, when he's not addressing the abductions, the disappearances, the detention, the persecution of government critics, when he says about the freedoms that he's also very keen to start infringing on, to bring acts and bills that are against the constitutional freedoms that have been highly fought against. When he says about the sovereign fund, he does well, but what is the process of implementation of that sovereign fund? Maybe we can register all the mineral wealth and document the wealth that we have as a country. This is just an idea. I hope he's listening. And we can have at least maybe 50% of the wealth that comes from that then put into the sovereign wealth fund. It is a good thing when the president gives us promises, but then how is he planning to implement them? Because that lacks in most of his speeches. There's a very vague way of how he's going to implement. But as young people, again, it was told that we just have agitations in the streets, but then we're not having leadership, we don't have structure.
But now, as the country reflects on this State of the Nation address, the biggest question remains, is Kenya really moving forward for all the people, or only for those in power? But as you know, only time, action, and accountability will give the true answer. Thank you so much for watching Havana Media. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to always like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you may not miss any upcoming story. My name is Oduor Billy. I'll see you in the next story.